guys.
Hey everybody, welcome. We're a little early today to spill the tea. There's lots of tea to spill, and I'm here with my fantabulous co-host, Johnville. I don't know who the heck this Cooper Kettle is, but and Alex, we're here today to talk about Survivor. Everybody, good morning, good early morning, good afternoon, good evening, if you're where Alex is.
Yeah, just as early as Charlie waking up Rizzo. We're that early right now. We're that anxious.
We're anxious, and lots of stuff happened this episode. We had a double elimination. We had a challenge that I thought I really liked it.
I did too.
But I was also like, you can never stop trying. You have to just anything can happen. And we saw that last night. Who wants to start us off on all things episode 5? Brandon, go ahead.
Well, I can. Yeah, I'll be glad.
I thought Cooper Kettle was going to get us going. So,
hey, listen, Copper Kettle.
It's Cooper Kettle.
That is my Mayan name.
You spelled it Cooper. That's okay.
Oh, did I spell it Cooper? Oh,
yes, you did.
I did spell it Cooper Kettle.
What's up, Coop?
It's supposed to be Copper Kettle, which is my knighted Mayan name. Which there's 2 variations of the knighthood. There is the formal one that Joe received, where he actually bowed his head, got the proper knighting from the coach, and then the Colby just like, dude, I don't know what you want me to do, and coach just like gives him the little pat and goes away. So we have the knights of the round table. So excited to see what happens with that. We had Charlie go, and before we get started talking about all that, I got to give it up to my boy Ozzy. Very beginning, kind of goes Ozzy, and then after some sleep and some fine meditation, we get Oscar. And Oscar is one who makes sure that he hugs people, and he realizes it's just a game, and I could still send your butt home next time around. But I'm peace, Oscar. And that Oscar can win this game.
I'm so glad we started with Ozzy, because that was so much growth on his part, because he did look a lot like his old seasons. I was really nervous for a second. I was like, oh no, you're going to make them really upset with you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they are working with you. They want to work with you. Like, this is a change from the past few seasons that Ozzy's been in. So it was really nice to see him get up the next day and be like, okay, you know what? I still feel what I said. Like, I meant it, but hey, we're good. You're my friend. We're going to go to the end together. Ozzy could do it. Ozzy could do it. The tides are turning for my guy.
Alex?
Yeah, no, I mean, this was Ozzy's episode in a lot of ways. Ozzy has a lot of the power. He seems to be in a okay position. I mean, he's got a tight alliance with Emily, and it was his episode, and he's in control. Christian kind of lost a lot of control, and Ozzy is ascending. And we saw a lot of, Christian was in this power position, and the decision to vote off Mike White, it was like, is that really the right decision? But you saw 2 big blows to the Christian kind of Rick Devens alliance with the vote off of Charlie, right? Because Devens was on the wrong side of that vote. Ozzy is kind of now is aligning with Emily. And it seems like Emily is going to be more swooned by an Ozzy type of thing, because it's less expected than a Christian alliance, right? So this is, what will Christian do? Is this Christian's, downfall, or is he going to be able to pull something off? And I don't know. It looks like Ozzy's in a good position, because Cerie's also in an okay position too. She was on the right side of the vote. And this is kind of the thing that I'm seeing here. There's kind of been this hypothesis, Ozzy and Cirie, are they the biggest threats on the entire season? But they're not being looked at that way.
They're not.
They're really going under the radar, and everybody wants to align with them. It's interesting.
Who would have thought that Ozzy would experience as many tribals as he has, and he still is in a fantastic place with an idol in his pocket? Like, he's doing some great stuff this season, guys.
Well, the other thing I thought was interesting out of that whole thing was Stephanie actually ended up in a better position as well. And because she was it was a little rocky for her for a bit. And now she's finding her space a little bit more, I think. So I think that kind of surprised me a little bit for her. And I'm glad, I mean, I'm glad for her. I want to see her playing her game. And I haven't really seen a lot of that. She's been on the back foot the whole time, pretty much. And so maybe we're gonna start to see her come out a little bit and do a little bit more. But I thought Ozzy did handle himself really well. I liked the fact that I think Christian needed what Ozzy gave him. Like, I think he needed at Tribal when they were leaving for Ozzy to be like, it's too late, right? Like, I think he needed to like hear that you can't just make moves on your own thing. That's not always going to work out for you. And then I loved that Ozzy came back the next day and was like, no, man, we're chill. But let me tell you, I still got this thing with you. So hand over your shot in the dark. Right. And I love that Ozzy did that. And Christian like saw right through it. And he was like, he wants me to bring me down a peg. He really wants me to like be subservient to him a little bit to make him feel better. I think that was a smart play on Ozzy's part. Because I know we like Christian saw right through it. And I think Ozzy knew that Christian saw right through it. Mm-hmm. But that it was kind of just a way of Christian was like, okay, I'm going to just do this because it'll help build the bridges. And I think Ozzy's doing it like, now I got it. I'm just going to vote you out when I want.
I don't know. I gotta pause because the only reason he did it is because Emily was flipping again and told him what Ozzy said. Emily cannot keep her mouth shut to save her life. And it's funny. And okay, now I'm rewinding because back when Ozzy was like going off, he's like, and now I realize Emily was trying to tell me, and it takes me back to that image of him behind Ozzy's head, like, shh, don't you dare. It's like now Ozzy together. Now was anybody else kind of nervous? Because I was not sure that Oscar was not going to try to get Christian. Like when he actually gave up his shot in the dark, I don't know if anyone felt like the way I felt, but I'm like, maybe they're not showing us clips, but oh my goodness, is Ozzy going to flip or is he really building trust? Anyone else like get the vibe that Christian might actually
I thought Christian was gone.
So did I.
I think that would have been the smartest play. I don't know why they didn't go with that. Because Angelina,
the reason that I think they didn't, the reason I think they didn't was because they're thinking, who are we going to trust? Ozzy has a good relationship with Stephanie. Stephanie had a positive relationship with Christian. Emily also has a positive relationship with Christian. And so Ozzy has this, well, if something's going to happen with Christian, Stephanie will tell me or Emily will tell me. So Christian is a number when Angelina's basically just not going to work with them at all. So as much as he doesn't like Christian, I think he feels like he'll get the information that he needs from either, and like they're not going to burn him again like that, right? So I was like, oh, nervous because I like Christian. I want Christian. But going into it, I was like, no, I'm almost positive it's Angelina. Now I was surprised about the Charlie vote because it all came down to Camilla, and I didn't think Camilla would identify with Rizzo because he's too kind of sporadic of a player. And I was in thinking like, does Camilla really want to align with Sari? Does she really want to align with D? That kind of threw me a little bit. I was thinking that wasn't the right move for Camilla.
And now we're on two subjects. So I'm gonna get to the Charlie thing first. I'm gonna take one step forward and two steps back, as Taylor would say. I think with the Camilla thing is she didn't necessarily see herself align with Rizzo or Charlie. I think the question was, does she want to play a game like D, who needs to play a very deceptive game if she's going to win as a winner? Do I want to play the same game as Sari, who can also play a Camilla type game? Do I want to play those two people rather than play with Jonathan and Devins, who she doesn't have any commonalities with Jonathan? And I think Devin seems to be playing this sit back in the back seat, kind of watch things happen. Hey, Kalo wants me as their 5 right now, so I'm not going to have any strategy behind this next pick other than that. So I don't necessarily think that Camille was trying to figure out Riz God or Charlie in that situation. I think she was gunning for who can I keep with, and she already had that thing with Dee and Tiff before the switch. So I think there's a little bit more relationship in Camilla's type game where she can't be completely proactive. She kind of waits and then goes. And I think that was the best move for her at that point.
Well, it was a big mistake on Charlie's part not to see that Camilla loves the number 2, and
he was
didn't
playing
take that
such
position immediately. Yeah, he didn't get his number 2. He was so scarred by the number 2 last time that he never established one in this game. And Camilla would be the obvious choice since Kyle's out, and she likes kind of that younger, and Charlie wants to play that cerebral game. So we thought, but
he was just a little slow.
That's exactly what I was about to say, Bree. You hit the nail on the head. He did everything too slow. Camilla even said it. Everything he did was like a step behind everyone else. He just did not establish or build the level of trust that she needed. I don't think that she necessarily saw herself aligning, like, because she called Riz God out. She's like, I don't think that anything he just said is true. That doesn't sound like Kyle at all. But what is he giving to me? And the answer was nothing. So
yeah, and Camilla was not in trouble, so she could make a little bit of a daring move or trust a little bit. She didn't need to. I think if she was in trouble on this, she would have went right with Charlie and, hey, devil I know versus devil I don't know. In that situation, we got to remember too is that Rizgod is really on day like 45 in this. As he said, tribal, he's been playing, I'm gonna make up numbers, 38 of the last 46 days or whatever. And so he's ready to be fast. He's ready. Charlie, less than about 2 years, year and a half ago, he played the game, which is enough time to kind of relax a little bit. And he's playing he's so one-dimensional this season that
can we just, this is how I see it.
How do you see it?
Yeah, I agree. I see it that Maria has screwed up his game twice. Maria screwed his game. He went with the number 2. He was like with her. They were together. That was their thing. And then he was betrayed by her. And now he's in this one and he's not making those connections and really getting that close because the Maria thing is still hanging over his head. And it was that slowed his game down, that kept him from really connecting and finding that, getting that person that he needed to, which he should have done with Camilla, but he was slow to do it because Maria's still in his head. He even been talking about it. He said, I'm not going to let Rizzo go because you can't vote out your number. You can't do that to your partner in this game. Yeah. And so I think Maria's screwed up his game twice now because he's holding on to all that shit.
He didn't shake it off.
He didn't shake it off.
He did not.
Come on, Charlie.
Come on, Charlie. Yeah, how do you solve a problem like Maria? 2 times. I mean, this has been like, think of Charlie stalking the whole entire Survivor history. I've never seen somebody go from like, I'm about to win this game. All I got to do is get to the final. He gets to the final and he loses by 1. And then he plays, his next season and he goes to 1 tribal council. Like, of course his hands were in his hands. His head was in his hands. I've never seen somebody spiral a game like that in Survivor history.
It's honestly sad because Dee said, I thought Charlie was going to come in as one of the best, and I think he might be one of the dumbest.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, and maybe it brings light into Maria's decision, and I think that was something that Fairplay said was maybe there's something with Charlie. Like maybe there actually is something to this, he's not likable or, and he does have some deep, I don't need to go that far with it, but he obviously, I think you're right about that, Bree, and held on to a vendetta and just didn't play smart out there. And I think you're totally right. Maria did ruin his game twice.
It's just been a cruel summer for Charlie.
Cruel summer, definitely, yeah. And let's give Charlie his best farewell. And this is why, part of the reason I am warming up to Rizzo again.
Rizzo.
I don't want to say it's hard to even say those words, but I have to admit,
good. Just say it, please.
He's good. And the send off at the voting for Charlie when he was like, I'm gonna quote, he gave him a tay-tay. He was tay-tayed by Rizzo. Charlie, poor Charlie. She, using the words that made Charlie so, I don't want to say famous on the show, but it was kind of his thing, right? And then comes Rizzo, and he's holding up his parchment and just saying, I thought you loved me or whatever. This is no love story. There's bad blood. It was just epic. I was like, okay, Charlie has to go now because Rizzo's, you can't say that stuff again to try to get him out again. This has to work to make that line iconic. And I loved it. And I was there for
literally one shot to make this work. And if it doesn't work, you got to go home. Okay, guys, Rizzo, I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm just nervous that he's going to try. They don't know his exact game, but he has given up enough about his game that, like, I think they're starting to put it together. And I don't know how I feel about him being super honest about his game because, like, now maybe. So, wait, did he tell them that he kept the idol the whole time, or was that his partner? It wasn't him.
I believe he told him almost everything, honestly. From all the clips that I saw, he was telling everything, relatively honestly. But again, they don't. But his honesty is him lying the entire season, faking it, playing this very, bravado forward game. Right. And he's basically saying, "Oh, I was, I had these two kind of very strong alliances, but we were at the bottom and." I have a projection on how the Rizzo thing's going to go, but we should wrap this up. And then I want to give my projection on how I kind of see the merge going.
Yeah, you think he's going to win. I totally
understand. No way.
He may not be Ozzy, but he might come through. Rizzo's
smart. Crush on Rizzo
he's young,
too?
but he's smart, and he's got that idol. And if he actually plays it this year, they're going to think he's never going to play it because he didn't. And I have faith that he's going to play it at the exact right moment because he's a mini genius. All right, I'm done.
I will give him credit. I'm not going genius. I'll give RIZGOD Riz Got Baby some credit with I just love saying that. This comes off the tongue. To be able to notice, hey, the thing that people are scared about me the most is they don't know my game. I'm going to tell them everything about my game because that erases them not knowing my game. I'm just going to tell them the game. I don't know if I would have had that heads up. I think I would have been like, I shared this. I shouldn't share this.
Savannah was also extremely straightforward with the game, and it seemed like she told them everything about Rizzo. And I think they probably just came into the season with this, like, hey, let's just tell everybody the whole truth because there's no way that if we try to lie that it's not going to come out as a lie and then it's just over. So I think their strategy probably going into it was, let's just tell everybody everything.
It worked for one of them.
Well, of anything that happened last night, and the reason I do like Riz giving, I don't like the God part of it. I don't think you should ever call yourself a god. I don't know.
But it's a lowercase g.
It's a lowercase g. We gotta go with, okay, I will give him that then. But here's the thing. The thing that nailed it for me was when he went to Suri and was like, let's play together. And he really brought everybody together. And I thought that was really, really well done. And the kicker for me on that whole thing was, against Suri's better judgment, she shared a secret with Riz. Like, girl, what are you doing?
She loves him. See?
Yeah.
Suri never tells. And she's like, I'm going to share with you. I can't even believe she did it.
I couldn't either.
Girl, they are locked in. They are married for this game now.
I know.
And I hate doing this. I'll give him some more credit. The fact that he didn't tell Camilla about, or maybe did he tell? Yeah, he did tell Camilla about the Billie Eilish idol.
Right before whoever got voted out.
I sit there wondering Camilla's game. Camilla is the killer, right? And so I don't know how much her decision factored in that if maybe Rizgod was pretty close to going home. Sharing that you have an idol with Camilla, that kind of player, like Genevieve would have voted him out that night. Genevieve, you're an idol, you're gone, you're out. But maybe maybe it shows the smarts of Camilla that she says, hey, I got this information, I can use it later. I want to play with Dee and Suri. So like Smart play. I love that we're this deep in the season and the play just as wise. So then the Genevieve or the Angelina situation, I'll put my 2 cents in there. I think it was the best way to unify that group. They're down to 4. You have to be as unified as possible because Stephanie doesn't have really anybody else except for Colby out there. So she needs to hang on to whatever she's got. You got Christian, who's got more alliances, other places. Ozzy, I think, needs more time than 4 days to really form his alliances with people. So I think he wanted to just prove that he's the Oscar, the understanding one. And then Emily flipping. Who knows? I think they needed some kind of consistency in voting because this was a hot mess tribe. And I think before merge, especially, this was pretty important for them. Whether they utilize these 4 or not, it was important for them to give it an option.
It's true. And before we get too far into everything, we want to give a shout out to a new star hitting the airways and really showing what it means to be a true Survivor fan and get Cerie's name right. I told him I was going to do this. Let's listen a little bit to Brandon.
Oh, who is this guy?
With much regret, and Batu's still stuck in the net, so we get you.
I hate watching myself.
A javelin struck a 12-foot fish, and Joe told us it was delish. We're glad that we won you. And not Cerie, not Devin's Riz Camilla.
Pretending I'm on a hammock right now.
And not Cerie.
The beer.
The best reward that'll ever be.
All right, that's all.
Oh my God.
But I had
You got to rewrite twice. Yes.
Right.
I'm going to start singing Cerie's name just to get it right.
Every time.
Long track history of not getting that name right. Yeah.
Love that. Saw
Well
that
done,
last
Super
night.
Kettle.
Well done, Brandon.
Thank you.
You have a good voice, Brandon.
Thank
That was
you.
nice.
Thank you.
Good,
You can
lovely.
see the
Perfect
rest of
for
it on the Vanua Facebook site. So
Wow.
That's right.
Wow.
there's that.
Look at this.
Next.
Johanna's appreciaing it too.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, agreed.
If you're not going to be a player, Brandon, you'll be a challenge reward.
I'll be on
Exactly.
some random season 52.5 will feature me as a reward challenge. I'll make it PBJs all day and sing some songs.
A giant
Spill the
little
immunity
secret.
host, and then they'll be like shocked. They'll be like, "Excuse me, Spill the immunity host, Cooper Kettle."
Hey now,
That's
listen.
stage name now.
Is it?
I had Cerie's name right. I can't get my Mayan name Copper Kettle right. I have to get something wrong. So
Cooper Kettle is like a country name, so you can roll with that.
Cooper Kettle. It does sound very country.
It does.
I love it. I love it. That was great. Bree, thank you. This is what I needed to wake up this morning. I'm now energized. Go, Brandon.
Done.
Brandon.
Well, let's get back to the
Brandon.
game of season 50, Hands the Fans, where Vanua, how'd you like this segue, guys? Vanua did vote, and let's catch their vote real quick, see how they did, and then we'll get to, like Alex said, this crazy, are we really merging at 17? So we got a little Vanua is our Facebook group, home of Spill the Immunity, where you can vote every Sunday through Tuesday on what you think is going to take place on the next episode. Ozzy's still the way too early pick, and I think those numbers just increased this week. That's a prediction of mine that Ozzy's going to get higher than 22%, which is still outrageous. I think that speaks more to his fandom than people's thoughts on what's really going to happen. But
And his gameplay, it is not just fandom. Hold on.
I would say 70% fandom, because if you look at Vanua's favorite, he's 27%. So obviously there's people voting based on the fact that they want him to win. And then you play it up in your mind. Who was it? Charlie during Tribal Council saying that you are your own hero. or anti-hero Taylor Swift. So you got that going on. Elimination predictions 2-2. Vanua is, as we predicted, Angelina out. Almost had the Rizzo pick, which is gone. And then they want Emily gone. Do you think it's because of just her crazy gameplay, or what's the reason why people want to eliminate Emily?
She's a loudspeaker.
Yeah.
She broadcasts everything.
You can't. How do you work with someone who won't stop telling everything you say?
Right.
How do you build a game around that type of gameplay? I love Emily, but then I see her this season and it won't stop.
She wants everyone to like her, so she can tell everybody everything.
Yeah, she could achieve that without giving everyone's game away. I don't know. I do think that's why I went up for Emily. My opinion.
I agree. Yeah, I think
like
that. Yeah, and we'll watch her game unfold. I think that with 17 people, someone who's flipped as much as she has, like, you almost wonder, hey, like, do we just need to get her out of here? Just like they did Q, just too unpredictable with what's about to take place. I think more and more people are going to see that Christian is doing a lot of the work because he's been the one to orchestrate half these votes. So I think Christian could lose an Emily just because a lot of people are scared of the small tribe that just seems like Christian's got ahead. The one thing I wanted to say about Christian right now is do you think that he's going to use that in his talks that he eliminated David and Goliath? Like, that could have been a strong 3, but he said no, like, or does he say, hey, like, everybody's trying to eliminate David versus Goliath, I'm next? Do you think he uses any of that?
Well, I think, so we're going into merge 17 people. That's insane. I was thinking they're going to go down to 2. So we'll see how that really happens, right? And are they merged? Will they go to 2 separate tribals, or however that happens? But Christian, I was feeling so confident about it, and now going into merge, I think what you have in the middle is the Warrior Clan, Jonathan, Joe, Coach, right? You have the Warrior Clan, and they're all honor-based. So who's going to earn their honor? And this is where I think Rizzo gets in trouble, because he's, I think, from the outside, the most dishonorable, type of archetype, right? He comes off as this kind of shifty, talking too much. Will Rizzo be able to win over Coach and Jonathan? And I don't know. So that's where I think that's going to be a dividing line. I think that Coach is obviously, I think, is going to see Suri as honorable, Ozzy as honorable. Why? They're old school. And I think that they'll probably throw Rizzo under the bus because, he's kind of a concession to the Coach in the Warrior class alliance. So they can start to chip away at, Christian and Rick and, some of these like nerd type archetypes. So they're going to, but Rick is right now in with Jonathan. So there's these kind of interesting dynamics on where are these 3, because that's a pretty solid voting block. And those 3 are always going to vote together, I would assume, right? Unless there's some sort of paranoia that gets put in there and then Coach goes haywire or Joe's honor gets offended. So that's where I'm kind of perceiving merge, is I think whoever can win over that block of people is going to have the upper hand on the people who are on the outside of that alliance. And, wow. and yeah, I see D is always going to be, opposed to a Devins, right? Is it going to be opposed to a Christian? And then you have Colby in there too. So that's like 4.
Yeah, Brie, can you show while he's talking? I put a slide in here that says high school reunion massacre to kind of show it's like one of the last ones. We'll talk about that. Maybe.
Oh, it's way in the back. Okay.
It's way in the back.
I like the way you put these together. So
yeah. We'll get to those. We'll clear that off. We'll talk. This is the one. This is crazy. 17 people. There's no easy way to show the tribe dynamics. This is what Mike White was talking about episode 1, where he said it's a high school reunion meets a massacre. And Alex, you got it right. So how I kind of did this, I put the noble ones in a straight line. Colby, Joe, Coach. They're all knighted. They're in the same row as Genevieve because Colby still has that relationship with Genevieve. And then you have Coach, who's a Jonathan fan. You have Christy kind of in the mix of those three guys. And then Aubrey kind of off to the side there, who's considering talking to Coach, who is also talking to Tiff, who's also in the alliance with Dee, and Camilla, who's with Suri, I need to sing it, Suri, and Rizgod, and then Devins is with Suri, who's also with Christian, and Emily, who Christian is with Ozzy, who's also with Suri, and then Stephanie. So, like, dude.
This is a really good graph. This is actually really good, Brandon.
Thank you.
Because this actually
He's
is
so
kind
surprised. He's like, oh my God, Brandon, you did it right.
Your response is hilarious. Like, oh my gosh, Brandon, hit the nail on the head.
Well, I think
Cooper
well,
that did
well,
this.
it's also
Actually Cooper.
Cooper,
yeah,
baby.
this is the alter ego. Well, I think what this is showing too is that, you know, for all the Christian fans out there, Christian actually is in a good position. There's kind of a lot of lines intersecting on Christian. He's the only one who has kind of these 4 intersecting lines. He is kind of at the hub of this. And yeah, you got the Aubrey and Tiff alliance, which is very strong. You could see Camilla kind of veering towards them because she's kind of, you know, out there, not really with anybody very strong right now. I could see her going with a Tiff and with an Aubrey on that kind of intellectual level. So yeah, Brandon, I'm shocked. Whoa. You've watched a couple episodes of Survivor before.
A couple episodes here and there, and I'm an early riser. So let's go, baby. John, go.
2 seconds. I was just going to say, I love this. When we talk about the merge, though, I do not know that I'm convinced that this is going to be the big merge. I think they've done it. I think it's a new year, a new season. I think they're going to just split them again. Like, remember, they took them from 2 to 3. I think they're just going to move them back to 2. And it's going to be 2 different tribes. I don't think it's going to be the big merge. To me, it's too soon. I don't think so.
I saw the same color buffs on everybody's head, which you know,
who notices that?
What's that?
I did not notice that. I'm like, yeah, you're probably right now that you're saying, but maybe they did specific cuts just so you would think that they were all the same. Like, I don't know.
And it could be, you know, there's no mergatory since they already have that. It's like a neon yellow color buff is what we're seeing next. It looks like. So perhaps they bring them back and put them into 2 tribes. Who knows? But this is it. And so if I was following you, Alex, I heard a lot of the knights who, if the Knights of the Round Table are going to be probably the biggest group of people. Can all those deceivers come together enough to kind of knock that? They're also the strongest people in the tribe. What group, Alex, did you mention again that if they take this group, then...
Well, I see them as like the solid voting block. They're going to be convinced by some of the more strategic players. They're going to have to decide, are they going to go with a Suri and an Ozzy, who I think they're going to view as more honorable? That's a really solid voting block from them. Or is it going to be these kind of nerds, Devins and Christian? Can they even control them? I mean, they're coming in with, you know, if Jonathan wants to play with Coach and Joe and Colby, what's wrong with being a strong guy? What's wrong with being a strong guy? Right? Then, and you got Chrissy on there too. Like, that's just a really, like, they're the unmovable force, right? And then the more strategic players have to figure out how to play around their game. And that's kind of what they're saying. It's like, it's really uncomfortable to have to play around Joe's game because it's just very touchy. And like, the game could actually start coming to just, unless the more strategic players say, hey, we need to get these people out. But that requires Dee and Christian and Suri and Rizzo and all these people who are very, you know, they don't see Colby as a threat. They don't see Coach as a threat. They don't see Joe as a threat to win the game.
Right.
You know, because if they're going to get there, they're going to get there with their 3 other, with the strong guys. You know what I mean? And and they, you know, I don't feel like that's going to be rewarded on Survivor 50 as playing this stand-up game, honorable to the end, you know, super old school game. Like, people want to see, you know, outwit, outplay. They want to see the outwit specifically, right? And those guys aren't outwitting anybody.
And I think it's important to know that I forget what Colby's Mayan name is.
Oakbound warrior.
The Oakbound warrior never really said that he's going to play this loyal, honor, integrity game. He admires Coach, but I think that he is going to be the one that is more of a not free agent, but I think will be willing to do whatever it takes for him to go a little further in this game. And he's got a completely different group of people that is aligned with him that Coach and Joe don't have, and that's Stephanie and Genevieve from that first tribe. So it's going to be interesting to see what Colby does.
Colby's still giving me Kevin Costner. It's given Costner Waterworld to me, but that's just when I see this picture of him. I think here's the thing that if this is merge, first of all, I do believe that they're going to have more people voting this season in the jury. I think the jury will be bigger. I have a feeling that we might see a larger jury because I just think because of who we have. I think it'll be interesting. I was thinking last night when I watched and when I knew it was going to be a merge situation coming up, who has gone and then who does, like, I love Sari. I want to see her win. How the people that have gone, is it better that they're not on the jury for her? So I think it is. I think, Jenna was old school, but she really had it out for Sari. Would she have voted for Sari? I don't know. So I think getting rid of some of the old school players the new school players, because new school players are going to probably vote more new school when it comes down to the jury vote, right? I'm already thinking how the jury works out. But the thing about this large group of people coming in to emerge is it completely changes how the votes are going to go and how they connect together. There's so many possibilities now. And I think that I kind of like that. It's going to make it not as, it's not like, oh, we have this and we have this, and those are the two, and who's going to manipulate?
It ain't clean at all.
It's not clean. It's not easy. You have to really, really play a very good game to get a lot of, how crazy tribals are and getting votes and how they scramble before, and there's all these things going on. There's so many variables now that I think it makes it more exciting. I think it was a smart play. I do hope that this goes to one tribe. It may go to one tribe for one vote, and then it may redistribute everybody again. I don't know, but I kind of am liking this large group. The last thing I wanted to say, I know Johnville has to go soon, so I want to make sure we're getting to some things here, but I wanted to say that, and I do love spoilers. I'm a spoiler girl. Don't ever ask me. I'm not going to give you the version that won't tell you what's going to happen next, because I do love to, I just am so excited about things. But if people paid attention to Mike White and to some of the stuff that he put out way prior to this season airing, after they filmed, the last thing he said in an interview that they did when they were asking him about Christian, the last thing he said was, "And thanks for the vote," because it was Christian's vote that put it over the edge for Mike White to go home. And so he knew that Christian had betrayed him. And so in that interview they did with Mike, this was it was after they filmed, prior to the season coming out, that he recorded that. So I'm also looking at who am I seeing at a lot of these events. And I did see Rizzo with Sari quite a bit. I also saw Joe in there. I'm not saying that that's telling us anything, but I'm keeping it in mind, because that's why when Sari and Rizzo teamed up, I wasn't as shocked as I thought I was going to be, because I'd already seen them together a lot at these events. So that's just my 2 cents worth on what we can gain from. I love looking to see who's where. And now my dog's going to bark. So Brandon's like, I don't want to hear anymore.
I tried. That's fine. Yeah, I
don't know spoilers for sure. I'm just saying that's my thoughts.
No, that is completely fine. I'm an admin to a Facebook group, and it is so hard to stay away from all these spoilers. So I'm doing my best to try to watch this the way I used to in 2003, right? Where you don't see anything else.
It's just fan theory at this part. I mean,
call it a fan theory. It's all good. I like it.
Yeah, not a problem. I do think. What are you most surprised in after 5 episodes of how well? Who's the most surprising to you of how well somebody's doing? Who's the MVP so far? D, say more.
I just think that as the only winner left, I think she's playing an incredibly smart game right now. She said she wouldn't align with Suri, but she's going to do it because she loves Suri. I think that's a really smart position on her part. I think getting into that group and staying tight with them, and not being a threat. I don't hear her name coming up at all. And I think she's surrounding herself with enough of an alliance that she could actually go farther in this game than I was giving her credit for.
Well, and I think too, you got to keep in mind who she said that to. She said that to Jonathan, and I don't think that she's only talking to Jonathan because they're on the same tribe and they're kicking butt together and taking names. So I could see how she would use Jonathan as a meat shield type situation, but at the same time, her game does not align with his. At least from his first gameplay. I know he's talked to Boston Rob, and I think he's trying to be a little bit more strategic, but again, he's trying to hide that part right now until it's safe enough for him to start playing that way. So D hasn't come across that Jonathan, if it exists. So yeah, I think it's very, very, very awesome the way that the Queen D is playing this game. Alex, who's your player of the season so far? And as far as them joining together and being in a great spot.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a really interesting merge. We haven't seen a lot of people. I mean, we haven't heard anything from Tiffany. We haven't really heard anything from Aubrey very much. I like going into it because it really is anybody's game at this point. I really think it is. I do think, I like Jonathan a lot. I mean, he's no one's looking as much of a physical threat that he is. No one is looking at him as a threat in any other way. Like, because he was so kind of easily kind of voted off the last time. But I think he's in a really good position. I think everybody likes him a lot. D has a crush on him. He could get really far. He's good at challenges. He's not good at puzzles, but that's okay. So I could foresee him just going very far, and then, he's going to pick up some votes. Also, Colby. I mean, Colby, I think you're right. I thought it was really good, prediction on Colby is he can be aligned with Joe and with Coach, but he's going to be much more flexible. He doesn't really care about Coach. He probably likes Joe, but I think he's looking for some redemption, and he played the doofus on season 2, gave away $1 million. And I think he wants to redeem that in a way for himself. And, you got Christy in there. I don't think she's going to go far, but she also kind of mixes up that alliance. And she was kind of very dissatisfied with Coach, and maybe that will be the unraveling of that machismo alliance, right? The Knights of the Round Table. Devins took a big peg down this with being on the outside of the vote, not being aligned with Suri. I just think it's anybody. I do think Dee's playing an interesting game, but I just don't foresee her. And even Camilla, right? But Camilla is going to go head to head with Joe, and I just don't think Joe's gonna want to align with that again. So, I just think it's a wide open game, and really anybody's. And like I said, what I'm foreseeing is these very strategic people with these somewhat less strategic people in the middle, which is an interesting dynamic. And I love what I was going to say was I love large group dynamics. So if this is the Survivor playout that they do 3 tribes and then they go to 1 mega tribe, I'm happy. We can do that. That's fine. I will take it. So we don't have to do 2 kind of smaller tribes, because I just think the large group dynamics, because there's just so many more possibilities. Because let's say we went into this with take off 6 people here or take off 5 people here. You can anticipate what's going to happen so much better, I think. Like if you just took off Ozzy, Suri, Camilla, Rizzo, and those people, you'd be like, oh, you could kind of project where the game is going, right? But when you have all these people, you're like, wow, there's a lot of different ways that this could go, a lot of different personalities.
Yep. Johnville, I know you got to head out. Last words before you take off. We appreciate you being here.
Oh my gosh, yeah, no, love being here, and I will see you all again next week. I just want to say that my pick is I think that Ozzy and Suri are very well surrounded and very well protected right now. I'm gonna always say that I hope that one of them wins. I know I was really like against 3, but only because she was on Ozzy's tribe and only because she was very much trying to get him off the last time. But this time they're working together, so I'm right there. I would settle for either of them. I think that they're well protected. I think they're in a good spot. I also think that Joe is in a good spot and he's making enough like connections. I also think that he had a really great chance of winning his season. So if he can just persevere, like I think that he might go somewhere too. So those are my picks. My picks for like overall win, Ozzy. It's not just fan base. He's amazing and he's playing a really good strategic game right now and making good connections. We'll see. So that's my pick for that. And then I just want to say I absolutely love this challenge that they did this time. We didn't really talk too much about it, but it was a great challenge. Like I love seeing Ozzy anytime he hits the water, but everybody did a great job. And then what was the there was one other thing I wanted to say, but now I can't remember. But it's okay. I will see everyone next week. Have so much fun. Great job. Keep spilling the ImmuniTEA.
Thanks, John Bill.
See what you did there.
Awesome co-host. We love having you. All right, we're gonna let you go, Johnville. We're gonna bring up a guest. We're gonna move into some new things, but let's also Colby and Rizzo did have a connection, so that could change the dynamic as well if those two come back together. What are we gonna wrap up here on this, Brandon?
With this one, I'm going to say that I cannot believe that Surrey Fields, but I can at the same time, is well surrounded. And I would be, it's going to be hard to pick a loser this week. It's going to be hard to pick somebody off this week just because I think the right people have the idols that they need. Because you're looking at this and Riz God maybe should be voted off because he's a question mark. Ozzy being involved, 5-6 tribals and still doing all right. Maybe he should be voted off. And then you have Opry, who only has 2 people that she's strongly linked with at this time. That might be a person Genevieve also goes after, but maybe it'd be interesting to see what people thought of the Charlie Riz God rivalry and if they get trigger shy because Charlie was so gung-ho about it and make sure they look in their blind spots before. So I'm surprised by Surrey Fields once again, and I can easily see that square in the middle be your final 11 here in a couple weeks too.
Here we go. All right. Well, we have a guest that's going to be joining us today. Tell us a little bit about.
Yeah, this is our Vanua fan of the week. He was involved, and he'll tell us what he was involved in when it came to the idol search that Survivor did for us, who's announced all their winners. All 51 winners have been announced. So congratulations, you jerks. I won't call you Polly Pussy Pants, but these are the people that you didn't hear that Ozzy called Christian called Ozzy Polly Pussy Pants.
I did not.
Yeah, you got to go back and check
you
that
say
out.
It just doesn't sound right.
No, I'm trying not to say it, but we have Greg here, who is not one of those. Greg, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. Can you hear me?
Yes, great.
Cool.
Greg? Yeah.
So yeah, I guess you guys decided to pick me as the fan of the week. Facebook
Absolutely,
groups,
man.
cool. So yeah, I guess you were one of the admins, Brandon.
Yeah, tell us where you traveled when you looked for the Survivor idols.
So yeah, I'm from Maryland. So yeah, I ended up going to the Virginia one first. And then I don't know, maybe 7 days after that was New Jersey, and the day after that was Delaware, and the day after that was my home state of Maryland. Did all 4 of those, and then I don't know, maybe it was 4 days after that. There was Connecticut. Drove up to Connecticut from Maryland, and then I guess it was supposed to be like 2 days after that for New York, but they delayed it because of the snowstorm one day. So I ended up doing 6 of the idol challenges in person.
My goodness.
That's incredible.
So incredible. And I've noticed that in your posts, because you have blessed Vanua with a lot of information, you are, correct me if I'm wrong, a very analytical watcher, that you love seeing the stats about the game. Is that your take? Is that how you watch this game?
Well, yeah, I don't know. I guess just in general in life, yeah, I guess I analyze a lot of data. I guess just for the fun of it, I guess. I guess that's, I don't know how my mind often thinks. It's interesting. I don't know, just understanding, you know, things, understanding the full picture.
And you've seen this season, what are you loving about it? And if you could start us off after you tell us what you love about the season, what it means to you, give us your elimination pick, if you can, with this crazy merge are about to hit. So what you love about Survivor, what you think about this season, Greg?
Well, yeah, I don't know. I've always liked adventure in real life, so I guess it's kind of cool to watch them on an adventure, you know, in Survivor drama, things like that. It's cool to see the different challenges that go on. It can also be interesting, you know, seeing different new twists that can happen, and yeah. What was your other question?
Yeah. So how long have you been watching Survivor, and does it mean what does Survivor mean to you?
So yeah, I guess I maybe first heard about Survivor, the TV show, maybe around 2015. Um, uh, and I don't know, you know, it's a TV show that I like watching every once in a while. I mean, yeah, I guess I haven't seen all the seasons. I guess I've tried to catch up on some of the seasons more recently. But yeah, I've been following season 50. Yeah, I've been watching each of them live for season 50 up until the current episode. Um, you were saying, who do I think is going to get voted out next?
What's your take on the season, and who do you think is getting voted off? Like, yeah, who you got as winner, and who you think's leaving next?
Well, yeah, I don't know. I guess I've been a fan of Ozzy. So yeah, I guess I would be one of the individuals, I guess, that you mentioned in the poll there that wants Ozzy to win in the
What do you like? What do you like about Ozzy?
Wants Ozzy to win. Well, yeah, I don't know. I guess I feel like I root for individuals that are often like the underdog. That's maybe one thing that I root for, but I also feel like Ozzy, he's like a hard worker, and he's persistent, and in the past, you know, he's won a bunch of challenges, but I guess he wasn't as lucky so far this season. He's lost quite a few. And then I guess it was also cool, you know, to meet him in person at the watch party near me in Baltimore, Maryland. So yeah, I feel like that further made me want to root for him. So yeah, I guess the Billie Eilish boomerang idol. I guess that's an interesting concept. I guess, like I was saying, I've been trying to catch up on the season, so I don't know. Maybe that's already happened before in a previous season, but I haven't seen that. I've caught up to season 44 now, so I guess there's about like 5 seasons or so that I haven't seen yet. Is that a concept that's happened in a previous season, or is that new?
The Billie Eilish boomerang idol would be a new one. Yep, that's a new one.
Yeah.
Never have had a boomerang idol before. So they've had some other crazy ones, but yeah. Did you see the one where the idol was a stick? Yeah. Okay. Well, and who do you think is getting voted off next?
Yeah. I mean, I guess I didn't come prepared with an idea of who would be voted off next. But if I were to pick somebody, I don't know, maybe they're going to try to go for someone who they feel like is a threat. I don't know. Maybe they'd go for Christian next.
There you go.
Wow. That would
Christian's days are numbered.
That's actually one of my picks for this next week. So I'm right with you there, Greg.
Oh, you've started.
I'm under attack.
Christian's in a really, really bad spot personally for me, because there's been so many people waffling in questions about it that I think it would be a smart play to get rid of him. Because otherwise he's going to really start to mastermind some things. He does have that analytical brain where he sees all these different things. He sees all the different pieces. He knows the chessboard. He knows who sits where and who can do what moves. And I think that he'll be very smart about how to get rid of people. And I think that's a guy you got to get rid of right away before he takes the people that you're counting on and puts them in his pile of, they're my people now and we're going to all vote against you. So you gotta strike while the iron's hot.
Well, you
Yeah,
saw it
I
with
feel like he could win
Stephanie.
some individual immunities too.
If it's a puzzle, yeah. Putting together a robot or something. You know, Stephanie said Christian was able to convince me so easily. You know, he made me really feel like I had to get Mike off then, or it was never. And so Stephanie sees him potentially as a threat. Ozzy really doesn't like him, but Ozzy will likely get burned, right? So Christian might have to burn some people, and you know, maybe it's better to do in a small tribe than a large tribe. And so can Christian he was doing such a good job keeping his threat profile low, but will a Cerise sniff him out or a D's sniff him out because you know, they don't like the other strategic players. You know, like Aubrey and Genevieve, they go, you're like me. That's not good. So if you're super strategic, you don't want another strategic person in. You want to eliminate them. So I agree. Christian is in a tough spot. We'll see what he can do. Brandon.
Very interesting. I'm so excited. If they all go to tribal, this is me saying, hey, they're all going to tribal, 17 of them with their neon yellow buffs. I'm going to go with my whole concept of, if you haven't been to tribal, I think you're in the most trouble because you haven't experienced tribal yet. You're not going to know necessarily what to do. So I think it could be, I'm going to go with a former Kalo member. Man, I'd hate to say if I was going to a swap and I've seen Jonathan do what he's been doing this season, I'm going to step out on a limb and I'm going to say that I don't know if Jonathan has made the relationships yet he's supposed to be making, and he might be in a situation where it won't take too many votes because there are 3 idols out there. He doesn't have one. And I'm also going to say that perhaps Christian plays, or at least attempts to play, the idol that's buried there, that fake one that Devins and him used. And we might get something odd as Jonathan going home. That's my pick. I got no other research behind it, but a Kalo without an idol and a big player going home.
Yeah.
Right now.
He's an inoffensive vote off. No one's going to be super upset that Jonathan went home. You know, they may be even happy because this big physical threat is out of the game. And, you know, one thing I wanted to say is Genevieve's master plan was to give Rizzo the idol so she could fake work with him to then vote him off, which how her alliance is. I mean, I think that's something to watch too. I mean, once it goes to merge, I think those boomerang idols, people are going to be wanting to flush those, wanting to use,
Angelina
wanting to get those out.
And she had one, right?
No.
No,
the current boomerang idols are Aubrey, who was given to it by Christian.
Oh, that's right. It was Aubrey.
Sari has an extra vote. Colby has lost his vote. Ozzy has a boomerang idol given by Genevieve, and Rizzo has a boomerang idol given by Genevieve. So Genevieve has opportunity for 2 idols. Will she pursue it? I definitely think she will.
Well, the only problem with this big merge and all these new people is that Emily has a whole bunch of new people to talk to that she hasn't shared things with. So we could see that getting Emily into trouble. Just wanted to point that out.
Ooh, are you saying Emily?
I still think it's Christian.
Oh, Christian, you say Christian.
But we keep an eye on Emily because she could be just running around telling people secrets all day long because she's got new people to talk to. So that could get her in trouble. If she does that, I think she's gone. Christian's going to be like, that's it. But I think if she doesn't do that, then Christian's going to be the one in trouble. And I think if they're smart, they get rid of big players right away. I don't think there's a safe vote that they should. I don't think that's the play, the safe vote with Jonathan kind of a thing where nobody's really going to get their undies in a bunch about it. I think you immediately go for big people because you go for Ozzy, you go for Sari, you go for Christian, you go for Devins. Like, I think those are the ones that they're insulated well and they have a good group, but you could swipe some people.
Yeah, and I'm going to take that back because I realized that Jonathan just went to tribal, and that just defeats the whole purpose of me saying anything about this is going to be a first tribal person. So I'm going to switch mine to Genevieve, who has not been to a tribal council. And I think that because Aubrey has that idol, I think Genevieve's going to try to focus on Rizgod trying to get his idol back because she said that she planted that on him. I don't think she's going to get that opportunity, and I'm going to say that Genevieve is my final pick. Genevieve.
Here we go. Well, we got a lot of stuff happening coming up next week with the merge. How will it flesh out? I don't know, but we're excited about it. And will Jeff go, start a second career doing impersonations of all the Survivor players of the past? Because
Alex Hitt versus Jeff Probst.
yes, it's
There's a reason
challenge.
Jeff is not an actor. He is a host.
I thought he
Terrible
nailed
accents.
Christian, though.
No.
I thought he was so funny with Christian. I love that he's doing that and he's giving us some extra things. Hey, Greg, thanks so much for hanging out
Thank
with
you,
us.
Greg. Good to meet you.
Congratulations. That's an impressive amount of idol searches to go on and to be picked. How amazing for you. Really excited about it. Thanks, everybody, for being here today. We're going to end the stream with, a little more.
Well, thanks for inviting me.
A little
welcome,
more
Greg.
music.
The music.
We'll see you guys next week.
Surrey.
Plays guitar
Zach
to
Brown.
fill her soul, and Tiff's soul too. Coach says life's short, but the segment's long, and then Zach Brown plays another.